Hello everyone, Mike here with you guys once again. I know it's been a while, but honestly, my internet is slow, so that's why I hesitate to make videos, because I have to wait forever to upload them. Anyways, I need to do this one, because I'm going to talk about a game, even though it's a few years old, and this game has gotten quite a bit of attention when it came out. Unfortunately, it came out in 2017, and thus missed out on Game of the Year status, because there were just too many great games that came out in 2017. And this is Nier Automata. It's called Automata according to Pod042. I'll explain what that is in this review. But this is, I don't know if I'm going to spoil this or not, because there's so much to talk about that, and there's so many details in here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and give you my thumbs up or down right now, and then go into explanations as to why, in case you're interested in what I think overall but haven't played it yet. First off, if you haven't played Nier, a lot of people say that you don't need to play Nier to play the sequel to it. This is the sequel to Nier, which is in itself a spin-off of Drakengard, one of the endings. I would recommend you watch either a Let's Play or a movie of Nier, because there are certain revelations in here that aren't explained well, that I didn't understand until I watched watched Nier on YouTube, the original Nier, and because of that, I understood. It explained a lot about what was revealed in this game. But yeah, thumbs up or down? Gonna give it a very strong thumbs up. I think that Yoko Taro and Platinum Games are a perfect match for each other. They are what each other needed at the time, and I feel bad for when this game came out. I felt bad for Xbox fans because I felt bad for Xbox gamers because they were supposed to get an exclusive Platinum game, and that got canceled. And instead, PlayStation got an exclusive console, timed exclusive, but exclusive Platinum game, and a good one that got good reviews. So once again, Xbox gamers got screwed over by PlayStation. PlayStation was like, nope, we're taking this one from you too. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say on that. Now it's time to get into this game, what I think of it. There is a surface narrative, and the surface narrative is about a war between androids and machines, which is kind of weird since they're both artificial intelligence. They're both robots, basically. It's just one looks more human than the other. However, I would say that the other acts more human than the other. Anyway, it stars this protagonist, this is one of the protagonists. This is 2B. Interesting story. I got 2B because I liked this game so much that I wanted. It was what finally got me to start collecting action figures again. I need to get a 9S, who is your support unit on this. But yeah, this is the first character you play as. As usual with Yoko Taro games, you don't get the full story by playing it one time. You have to play it a few more times to get the full narrative. And the first two times you play, you first play as 2B, then you play through the same events as her companion 9S. 2B is a combat android. 9S provides technical support, so basically he's a hacker. And then, of course, after you play as those two characters, the story then finally continues from that point. And during Route C, it's the undoing of everything, all the attachments you built during routes A and B. So basically, the first few times you play it, you get a fun, cool, Japanese anime type experience, and then when you get to Route C, after all the attachments and time you spent, your dreams start getting crushed, and everything that goes bad does, and everything gets really pessimistic, and it just doesn't stop until you get to the true ending, which you need to play. There's a choice you have to make at the end. You have to play you have to make both those choices in order to get the true ending. And after that, and even then, and when the optimism finally comes back, or finally shows up, you got to make a tough choice at the end. I don't want to say any more than that. And the reason why is because this game came out in 2017. A lot of people didn't play it because they were too busy playing Horizon Zero Dawn. They were too busy playing Breath of the Wild. They were too busy playing Resident Evil 7. And then later on, Persona 5 came out. And so, had this game come out, I think, in 2016, I think it would have been nominated and won Game of the Year. I think if it came out in 2018, it would have had Game of the Year nominations, but it may have lost to God of War. Either way, this game should have gotten recognition. Game of the Year recognition. Oh yeah, and Hellblade also got in the way of this as well. But 2017 just wasn't the best time to put this out because we had too many great games, and this got buried because of it. The strongest points are the story. I also think that the soundtrack is phenomenal. The gameplay is pretty solid as well. So it's platinum. So if you like Bayonetta style combat, this gives that to you. The side quests are a bit grindy and fetch questy, but you're going to want to do it for two reasons. The side quests. Number one, you're going to want to level up so that the game stays easy because there's a certain point where if you don't level up enough, the game might become too hard. Enemies might become too strong and won't be able to keep up. But if you do enough side quests, you don't have to do them all. But if you do enough side quests, the main campaign will remain relatively easy for you, especially if you know how to use the chips. And what chips are is they're essentially how you adjust your playstyle. So there's a hacking set. So you're playing through Route B and you want to hack your way through it. You can equip yourself with a bunch of hacking chipsets, and you get up to 3 of them. So I would recommend that you have a 2B one, a 9S one, and a third one after that, which I'm not going to get to for spoiler reasons. But let's see, what else do I want to say about it? So yeah, the side quests are grindy, but I recommend you play them to help. It helps make things easier for you by playing a good majority of them. But also another reason to play the side quests is because even with the most boring side quests, there's still a little bit of lore, and the lore's worth exploring. So there's always that little bit of story nugget. Some are better than others, but there's always that little bit of story nugget waiting for you at the end, and that makes the side quests worth doing. At least for me. It may not be that way for you, but for me it is. There's DLC for this. This is the Game of the Yorha edition, the Game of the Year edition, and this has DLC for it. Unfortunately, that is harder. Now it is based on your skill, your level, and it's easier if you are leveled up enough. But you have to keep leveling up higher and higher and higher, which requires a lot of grinding in order to get to that point. So you might not want to do the side quests unless you like either a challenge or you are a completionist to the max. So, yeah. Anything else I want to say about this? Because I don't want to say too much. There's a lot of themes here. There's a lot of themes here that are very philosophical and very Ghost in the Shell-esque. Speaking of which, the soundtrack, there were moments where the soundtrack sounded like it came right out of the original Ghost in the Shell movie back in 1995. Certain choirs that you'll hear. Like, I was playing at the beginning of the game during the tutorial, and by the way, there's a free tutorial on PS4, so download it and try it out see if it's for you. There was a choir that came on the soundtrack that was very, very reminiscent of Ghost in the Shell, which I appreciated. So definitely check this game out, but do yourself a favor. Either play the original Nier or watch it on YouTube, because, again, there are revelations here that may not make sense to you because there's a lot of terminologies, a lot of references to certain projects and events that you may not understand if you haven't played or watched Nier. Do that before you do this, because it will make a lot more sense to you. especially towards the end of the game. Alright, I would also say that the sacrifice you make at the end, I went ahead and made it because I wanted to get the full experience, and I feel like even if you don't make this big sacrifice, you'll miss out on you'll miss out on that experience and how it's supposed to make you feel. If you cheat your way through it or you refuse, I feel like you won't get the full thematic feeling that the game wants to give you. And after a ton of tragedy and pessimism, you want that hope, and you want to make a positive difference, and you want some ray of light and some sort of optimism, and you finally get to be a part of that in some way. I know I'm being really vague, and maybe I shouldn't because the game came out 3 years ago, but again, this is a game that I just got this game a couple months ago, and I've heard about it and I wanted to play it for a while, but when you're living a married life, you don't get to do that in modern America. So I couldn't get a lot of games. So that's why I wasn't able to pick this up for so long. And then I got into VR. I'll tell you how much I like this game. I have not obsessed over a flat screen game since I got into VR. And then before the quarantine started, I picked this one up on a whim and was like, this would be a good game to play. I've heard you have to play it several times, so if it's easy enough, I'll do it. Sure enough, it was. This is the perfect game to play during quarantine. I'm glad I picked it up, and I'm glad to get excited about flat screen games again, because so far, especially right now, because PSVR is kind of at a stand as being put on hold right now because of everything. We only had like one big release left for that before PS5, and that got delayed. So besides what's already available, I need some other stuff to play. So this did it for me. Anyways, I thank you for watching, and hopefully I can get 9S for my 2B. And I will see you in the future video, which may be a while because I don't like uploading videos when my internet's slow. Talk to you later, bye.